Hello, I'm Lucas and welcome to episode 2 of my Rome Total War series as the Gauls. So last episode actually ended off pretty well. We claimed 2 settlements, one up in the north from the British, which is going well, so we've pretty much isolated them onto the island of Britain. And then down south we managed to capture the rebel settlement of Massilia, right here. So things seem to be going pretty well, but obviously there's still the major threat of the Julii, which we haven't really sorted out yet. We're not even at war with them at the moment. And then also the Spanish, we're at alliance with them, but the problem is they seem to have an army just sort of strolling through near Narbo Martius. Hopefully they'll leave soon, because I don't want to get into a fight with the Spanish. That army in particular doesn't look too strong, but obviously it means that Numantia will be vulnerable if Spain choose to break that alliance. So, first of all, I need to sort of consolidate and look at where we are. So, Lugatorix is heading towards Ariminum, the Julii settlement. This is the one we've targeted first. 2 generals, Welates and Hastati. They are strong units, but we have way more units, so unless anyone attacks us out of the blue, we should be fine taking that settlement, I think. So I am going to this is a big decision, but I'm going to declare war on the Julii and hope that there's no armies nearby. Is there a spy? Okay, there's a spy here. Let's move him into Ariminum. Okay, so he's infiltrated the settlement, which is good. And I'm glad I did that. There is an army nearby. Captain Tiberius, 2 units of town watch. They're very weak. Let's have a look at them. Their defense isn't too bad, but poor morale. They're just one step up from peasants essentially, and then another unit of Hastati as well. Okay, I still think we can take that on, but it's a good job. That's why you always have spies, because I could have just gone and attacked Ariminum and not known that there was that force right there. So, yes. I am wondering if we should attack this force of Captain Tiberius, because if we do so, we can have a battle right now rather than fight within the city walls. It could be beneficial to us. So I'm going to try and do that actually. Let's have a go. So we're going to attack the neutral faction. Yes, this is the bold step that we're going to take. And I want them all to fight me at once. It sounds odd, but I think it will be beneficial. So, yep, and this looks like a relatively even fight. Lugatorix, 995 men against Captain Tiberius. Doesn't look too strong. And then Quintus Julius. So, we have a lot more men, but they have the better troops, which is pretty much always the case when you go against Romans, in all honesty. So, let's start this battle. Okay, so looking at what we've got, we attacked the secondary force first, so they should be straight ahead of us, and then the city of Ariminum should be over here. Just think about the geography of it. Yeah, it should be in that direction. Yeah, okay, so we need to set up sort of facing diagonally, or we could just try and take out each force individually. It sort of depends on where they position themselves. Let's just work out what we've got first. So, let's move these guys back so I can have a look at the units we've got. Okay, so as usual, we're going to put the cavalry at the back. We'll put Lugatorix in the centre. We cannot risk him at all. And we've got so much other cavalry, we don't need to risk him either. So, this unit of cavalry here. And these guys can just flank. The same as last time, really. More cavalry. In fact, I'll tell you what, okay, everyone's a little bit too close to each other. Let's just move them back. Put Lugatorix right at the back here. 3 cavalry just in front. Oh, I didn't collect all the cavalry. Okay, 3 cavalry right in front. Move them slightly forward. We have 1 unit of skirmishers. This is the only missiles we have at all. I'll just put them just in front. I mean, they're not going to hold the front line, but they could just add a little bit of support for the warband, hopefully. Move them slightly forward. And then obviously the warband itself. All these units. There's a lot of warband right here. We're going to have to use them very well. That is a lot of you. That's a lot of soldiers. Okay. Let's move them forward very slightly. Okay, this looks... It's not very pretty, but hopefully it will do the job. Put them into formation this time rather than withdraw. That would be nice. Skirmishers, I don't want them on skirmish mode. Apart from missile cavalry, I don't really rate skirmishing at all in this game, personally. Especially with, you know, these weak one unit of skirmishers, it's not worth it. So let's start the battle. And okay, so we've got, let's just pause very quickly. We have this force right here, and we have the second force, yep, over to the left, as I sort of predicted. We could try and take this force out straight away, run towards them before these guys get to us, because it's easier taking them out one by one than all at the same time. So that's what I want to do. So we're going to need to move forward very, very quickly and efficiently to do this. They do have the uphill advantage, which is slightly annoying. There we go. I'm going to speed this forward slightly.
They have brought even more men. No
And
matter,
yeah, we're going to advance towards the Julii. Okay, I'm going to try and manoeuvre it so that they don't have as much of an uphill advantage. So move on to a bit of a hill myself, try and move them along. Keeping an eye on this army as well. They have cavalry, so they should be able to catch us up, which is not good. Let's move these guys very, very quickly along here. I don't want them to sprint too much because they're going to lose a lot of stamina very quickly, but I am slightly concerned that this Julii army is catching up to us very, very quickly. So let's move along here. And I'm gonna have them to run at this point. They've got to run. They've got to hurry up. Okay. So look, they look like they have 2 units of Town Watch. These guys are vulnerable, and then the Hastati. So really, this is about the cavalry. They're gonna completely surround them, hopefully. We'll let them get into position. These guys haven't even reacted to the fact we're here, which is peculiar. Okay, let's get this cavalry around here. This cavalry around here. This cavalry around here. You guys can attack. So can you. So can you. You guys can attack the Hastati. You guys go forward. Okay. What we're going to do is surround them. Hopefully the Town Watch will break, and that'll make the Hastati weaker. They do have Pilum, which are like spears. So they have a little bit of range on us. One of the Town Watch is already broken. And okay, both the Town Watch are broken. Let's move on to this Hastati quickly. Don't worry about the Town Watch, they're no effect to us at all. Keeping an eye on this army, which is very rapidly catching up towards us. Okay.
Any of our warriors would die rather
Right,
than
let's just get back into formation now. I know there are a few of them left. How many of them are left? 4 Town Watch, 1 Town Watch, and 8 Hastati. I think we can deal with that. Okay, so let's get back into formation over here. And the beautiful thing is we now have the uphill advantage. It doesn't really benefit us too much because we don't have a lot of missiles, but an uphill advantage is always better than no uphill advantage, of course. So let's just get very, very quick. Oh, no, they seem to be backing off, which is actually not particularly good. Wow, okay, they're very cowardly. Let's have a look. House of Julii, what actually are they? Are they the cavalry? Okay, if they're going to back off, we might as well just chase after them anyway. That's very disappointing because I wanted to fight them. The whole point of this was to fight them all on the battlefield at once. And it seems like we're not going to have that luxury. So the cavalry can speed forward. There's no point getting the warband to chase off after them. The warband can chase after these lot. But the warband are never going to catch up with them. The cavalry has a chance, but honestly a very small chance. So I don't think they're going to catch up. We shall see. Nukatorix has decided he's not going to run anymore. Fair enough. Do whatever you want, mate. Okay. So these guys are going to run forward. Can they catch up? Yes, just in time. Oh, excellent. Okay, we just about caught up to them, so that's very, very good. We've got a few more kills in. Okay, so we won that clearly, as it says. They only got 55 kills. We got nearly 400, and there's 70 of them remaining. So that worked out pretty well. Although they routed very, very quickly, not too many of them got back. We lost a few cavalry, which is a bit annoying because they're harder to train, but I think that we've done pretty well there. Okay, so we haven't got Araminum yet. Unfortunately, that is a slight shame. They have both their generals are still there, and then 8 Welaters. Well, that's nothing. So it's basically just cavalry remaining. The problem is they're strong, heavy cavalry, but this is the weakest the settlement's ever going to be. So, okay, Lugatorix has gained 1 command, which is excellent, especially for such a young general. He's already a confident commander as well. And he has a slave as his retinue. Nice, okay. So, now is the time to strike Ariminum, obviously. So, Lugatorix is going to besiege Ariminum.
Attack!
And
Besieging
the
settlement.
spy has infiltrated the gates. That's excellent. So we can attack now. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to assault the city. Okay, so here we are. Lugatorix against Quintus Julius. We have a massive advantage. I wouldn't normally simulate a battle, but to be honest, there's no way we're going to lose this. We have far more men than they do. So let's just simulate it. It'd be a waste of time actually going in for it, and a clear victory. We only got 38 kills, but that was enough apparently, so that's nice. And we now have the settlement of Ariminum. So the people aren't particularly happy, which isn't good. How much denarii? We get 2,500 denarii. I know population is important in the early game, but I can't risk bad public order. And also, we've got these settlements that are rapidly increasing in population, like Batavium and so on and so forth. So I'm going to exterminate these people. And look, after exterminating, we're only at a sort of a medium happiness level, so it's probably the right decision. Retinue expands. Lugatorix is a famous warrior. That's a really good one. The retinue +1 morale. So Lugatorix is turning into quite a good general indeed. And now we have Ariminum. We've taken a first settlement off the Romans, but this is probably just going to begin the absolute onslaught. So we need to be very careful. We have this spy here. Now we could decide just to advance rapidly. There is this Senate army just hanging around, which I am slightly concerned by. They are strong, and if they fight us, we have no chance, quite honestly. I'm looking at Arretium. They have 4 units. 3 of them are Hastati. They're quite strong, like considering what we've got, and then a general. So I'm reluctant to go against these guys, but the thing is, they're only ever going to get stronger. That's my only concern. Segesta, on the other hand, literally has 1 unit, but there's going to be an army hanging around here somewhere. So I'm not going to move my troops out of Ariminum straight away, because I could do that. I could attack Arretium, and then they just go and attack Ariminum and take it back. So there's no point. But I do want to move the spy along. So I'm going to move him over here. Hopefully you can get the best view of all the settlements. So yeah, I can see Segesta now. I can see Arretium much better. Sadly, I can't see this settlement here, or Rome obviously. I can't see the army around Rome. Captain Augustus has a decent army here, so Mediolanum needs to be reinforced essentially. How many troops does Mediolanum have? 3 warband and a general, Eporidorix. Okay, and then Batavium has 2 units of warband. I'm going to move one of the warband over to Mediolanum. We need as much strength as we can there. Okay, so let's try and repair the walls, obviously. That's vital. And then let's retrain. So, oh, we didn't lose. Okay, so we can't retrain the cavalry, which is a bit annoying. We need somewhere where we can retrain cavalry. Meeting hall stables. Okay, 1,200. Barbarian cavalry and warhounds. That does seem good. I would quite like the shrines because the public order bonus and the experience is nice. But we do need to recruit cavalry as well. Is there anywhere else we can recruit cavalry around here? No. Okay. So I'm going to sort of take it as a decision that the cavalry is important. We're going to construct some stables. It takes 3 turns. It's a risk. There's possibly better things we could do, but I want to consolidate this force around Ariminum, so that's vital. I'm not going to retrain these 2 units. There's no point. They're basically full strength. Okay, so that's that dealt with.
Yes.
Pretty much. Okay, so let's have a look at what else we've got. Down in Spain, I think think we're fine. Humanity is okay. I think we're very close to ending this turn.
General,
This guy's going to be moving up towards the Julii. We need as much force as we can. Obviously, he can move this direction. Up here, Rennes still hasn't got any walls, which is slightly concerning, especially this army right here. And I do want to get rid of this navy, but there's just nowhere around here that can build docks, which is very, very annoying. And we still only have this one naval force. It's not big enough to get rid of Captain Sagovax. Can Lebanon build a port? This is the question. No, it cannot. Yeah, it's very annoying. All the places that can build ports seem to be in the south, which is inconvenient, but it happens. These rebels are still here, but in general, I feel like it's going okay. I think it's nearly time to end the turn. Let's have a look at Massilia. These guys need to move on, I think, really. Captain Augustus could be moving this direction. I think it's more likely he's going to move towards Mediolanum. So we're going to move on from here. Lower the tax rate because they're not going to be happy about this. So Vindex and 2 war bands and the skirmishers can move towards Mediolanum. Massilia aren't too unhappy about that, but look at them, they haven't got a lot of garrisons, so I don't want to recruit barbarian peasants. I don't know if I have a lot of choice. A muster field would allow me to recruit a warband at least. It's a question of, do we take that risk? Also, there's a Shrine of Athena here, which is odd because we don't want that. We want our own religion here. Narbo Martius, what army have they got? Only one warband as well. Okay, I'm going to take a risk and not build a muster field. No, actually, no. At some point we need to have Warbander here. We might as well build it now. So, yeah. We'll put that here. In terms of recruitment elsewhere, Narbo Martius needs to recruit a little bit more just in case the Spanish betray us, so they can have a warband. Up here in the north, Batavium needs to be churning out as many troops as possible. They're growing at a rapid rate. They can afford it. Same goes for Mediolanum. So we'll build that as well. Okay, at this point, I feel like we have a decent force. So I'm ready to end the turn. Okay, so nothing huge needs to be happening. The Julii turn ended very, very quickly. That diplomat lost interest. Okay, let's see what's going on. So, end of turn report. We're making money, which is good. Financially, we're doing a lot better than I thought. I suppose we have quite a few settlements, so that's true. Okay, coming of age. Meriadoc. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. 16-year-old, social drinker, fertile, which is always good, and command talent. And he's in Massilia. That actually works out pretty well because they need a little bit more defense. That works out pretty well. And then Belenus, I swear it's the second Belenus. I don't know if he's the son of... I don't think he is the son of the other Belenus. Okay. So, he's calm, command talent, poor farmer, that doesn't really concern me too much. A confident attacker, he looks like he could be a decent general. And he's in Mediolanum as well, which is really good news. So that's exactly where we want him. So that's really good. Repair complete, that's fine. Recruitment report, diplomatic information. Yeah, okay. This is always what happens. If you declare war on one Roman faction, you declare war on all of them. And the Brutii have also declared war on the Greek cities. They're just joining the hate on the Greeks, I suppose. And then, oh, this is interesting. So Spain and Carthage are allies. So I could have formed an alliance with Carthage. I don't think that alliance is going to last long, to be honest. Unless they ally against me, which would be annoying. So let's hope that they're going to be good about that. Yeah, Carthaginian diplomat. Okay, right, let's have a look at what's going on then. So, up here, this army hasn't moved at all, which is surprising. This army needs to move... Yeah, we're going to move that into Mediolanum. Okay, so we have 2 generals here, Eporodorix and Belenus. We don't need 2 generals in one settlement. So I'm considering moving this guy down to Ariminum. In fact, I'm going to move the older guy down to Ariminum because it's more of a risk. So yeah, he can move down. That's fine. Now, so he's moving along, and I don't suppose there's any good mercenaries available. I mean, they're expensive, and no, there's not going to be. Okay, so that's fine. So looking at the situation, Segesta is basically undefended, but there is this small army here. So stronger than the force we've got in Mediolanum. I don't want to take that particularly. Once Vindex comes over, though, possibly a force of Vindex and an army that we're building up in Mediolanum could be enough to take Segesta. So, we could make a surprise attack. I'm going to move a little bit more this way. Moving not into Julii territory quite yet. Okay, so that's good. So that's possibly a plan. Build a little army around here, or a decent enough army, to take on this force and Segesta. And as soon as this force is gone, it means Mediolanum's a whole lot safer. So that's really good. And then this force, maybe of these two settlements, could go and take Arretium. So, that's possibly good. Now, something I want to see is where that Senate army are. I feel like I have good visibility over Segesta. If I move the spy away, I possibly won't. I'm going to move the spy here and pray we can still see Segesta. We can just... No, we can't. Okay, we just lost visibility of it. I don't know where that Senate army... Oh, there it went. Okay. So, that's good. Doesn't seem to be too concerned with us. I'm going to move this guy slightly forward now.
On my way.
Just so I can see Segesta. Okay, let's just move him here. Right, I want to see Segesta. Okay, so... That seems good. Ariminum has quite a strong army. I mean, if we're going to attack... Now seems the chance. I don't want to attack Arretium though at the moment. I mean, it's a decent sized force there. Segesta I feel is more vulnerable. So Ariminum needs to be building up troops. Just more warband. They seem to be doing the job, which is surprising me. They're doing a lot better than I thought. Okay, let's have a look up north here. The British army is still here. They've not moved at all, I don't believe. And it's only 2 units, which is fine.
Aye, Captain.
I do want to blockade Londinium. I'm going to move this ship over here. The problem is their ship is here. Oh, they still haven't got docks, I don't think, either. So that's actually good. So it means the only way of getting troops is through that ship. So it's a matter of, do we take the risk? We could take this navy down. In which case they can't move anyone over to France in a long time. The problem is if we lose, we've lost our only navy. But I think it's a risk we need to take. So I'm going to go for it. I think they will win. I'm not going to lie. The odds are 1-to-1, but they're the defenders, so they do have the slight advantage. And it's a clear defeat. Okay, it's kind of what I expected. I did say that was going to happen. I felt like that was a risk I needed to take. Possibly not, I don't know. Okay. So honestly there's not a huge amount more we need to do this turn, because most of our fighting is now going on against the Julii. We're not really at war with the British anymore. In fact, if anything, I'd like to form not an alliance, but a ceasefire with them. That would be nice. So is there any way we can recruit a diplomat? Nope. Okay, that's not good. I would have liked to have had a diplomat around here. Do we have one in Alessia? No. Okay. So that's just going to have to do for the moment. I'm going to raise the tax rate slightly. Oh, no, they've already got a good tax rate. Okay. They haven't even got a wooden palisade. Let's get them a wooden palisade. Seems sensible. And then I'll build them land clearance in the trader next turn. As for this settlement, they can have land clearance. Let's just get the money up. That kind of stuff's good in the early game. It's not, farming's not that great later on. But in the early game it's quite useful to have. Meeting hall. Enables training of swordsmen. Okay, we haven't seen swordsmen so far. They are an improvement on warband. 10 attack and 12 defense, so it's about 3 or 4 points better than the warband, which is good. But the great thing about swordsmen is good morale. That's what I love. Less soldiers in a unit, but you don't need as many if they're swordsmen. That's basically it. If we're going to have swordsmen anywhere though, Alessia is not really the place. So, but it's good that we know that we can get them now. Practice range is skirmish warband. I'm not too bothered about them. A market, 1,200 denarii. Blacksmith, communal farming, which is a step up from land clearance. and roads. How much benefit would a market bring? Let's have a look. Markets, so trade income from 154 to 169. I don't think it's worth it for the moment. Maybe slightly later on. Tavern I don't feel I need to build because the public order is relatively good. If anything, we just need to recruit. Cavalry is one of the only places we can actually recruit cavalry. Oh, there's a diplomat. Okay, let's get a diplomat and then a cavalry over here, because there is still this rebel army around here, which is slightly annoying. As for the Spanish army, it seems to have disappeared, which is excellent news. And let's get this guy. What mercenaries can we have? Spanish mercenaries, I'm guessing. Yep, okay, we don't need them. They're not worth the money, personally. So, move along. Okay, so we're slowly moving along. He'll eventually get over to Northern Italy. We probably would have conquered it all by that time, but, you know, he's not doing much in Spain. But at some point I would like to take Spain, so we should start building an army here, I reckon. I know we can build a port here. It could be beneficial if we want to stop the British, but that's something we could do. I'll consider it. Okay, a trader would be nice, and we can build a meeting hall. Okay, let's just get a unit of warband over here, and let's get a unit of barbarian cavalry as well. Why not? We've got a bit of money, and you know what? Let's construct this port. I think this is the only place we can have a port. It's the only large town, so let's have a port. I know we're spending a lot of money very quickly, but we've got the money, we might as well. It's a long-term investment, which is good. So, the last place we haven't really looked at for a while is Lebanon. They can have land clearance, which is fine. And then Nabo Martis, they don't even have a palisade, so let's build them that. Okay, so we're starting to run out of money, which is... it's okay, we can live with that. Massilia, we have this general here. Yes. I don't know how much use he is really over here. He might as well join the effort in northern Italy. I don't feel like Massilia is too vulnerable, purely because we've taken the fight to Rome, which is why you need to do that, really. I'm not going to recruit Barbarian Mercenaries. Okay, so Massilia can build a trader. They've got a muster field. What's that do again? Oh, the warband. Okay, yeah. Let's recruit the warband there first. That's priority. Okay, so finally, let's have a look at Batavium. So we can definitely build and recruit here. Can you meeting hall? This is probably very, very good, especially as we're building stables in Ariminum. We might as well have a meeting hall here, because swordsmen are probably the only thing that really can stand up to Astarte at this point. So that's very, very good. We'll actually have some decent units finally, and we can recruit another unit of warband. Ariminum's recruiting and is constructing. Can't quite afford a warband in Mediolanum. It's okay. I think we can cope with that. Okay, I think that's all we can do for this turn. Next turn I will consider attacking Arretium, but more likely Segesta is what we're going to focus on. Last thing I want to focus on a little bit is Germania. They do share a border with us. It's a shame we couldn't form an alliance. I would like more spies. That is something I would like. We can't. There doesn't seem like much opportunity to recruit spies at the moment, which is slightly annoying because I have no clue at what Germania are doing at all. So we're gonna have to hope, basically, that they're not doing anything too bad. Otherwise, it could be a bit of a threat to us. Earlier on, I thought they were going to be. Okay, so we're going to simulate to the next turn. Okay, let's see what happens. The Julii have moved forward, and okay, they formed a big army in Segesta, but I think they've taken an army out of Arretium, possibly. That's a Spanish army moving out of the way. Okay, let's have a look at the notifications first. End of turn report. We're making money as usual. Don't need to look at that. Most advanced faction is us. That's good. Agent found. Germania. Yep, guessed it. Okay. That is concerning. I was hoping that Germania were going to focus on possibly Dacia and Thrace and maybe the Scythians early on. It seems like it might be focusing on us. It's really hard to tell without sort of this diplomatic information. Talking of Alessia, they're not happy. That's because the spies infiltrated the settlement. We'll sort that out in a minute. Okay, so first of all, the big thing here. Cassius Curious has formed a big army here. Well, big for this stage. Whereas Segesta is completely undefended. Yeah, just this one guy in here. So they've probably seen that we've got 2 generals coming towards this area and we're building up a force in Mediolanum. We could possibly take that force out, but it's too much of a risk. Well, I don't think it's a necessary risk anyway. As for Arretium, they have recruited some Equites, which are basically light cavalry. They're better than our light cavalry. Very, very fast moving. Okay, so the Julii are recruiting fast, which is why we need to take out these 2 settlements. Once we do that, then we're looking at a lot stronger position. So, Arretium, okay. I do think we could take this army out. If we take this army out, Segesta is at our mercy. That's pretty much it. I can't see what they've got though. So let's move the spy. That's a diplomat.
Your Honor.
I could move the spy up there. The problem is we only got 1 spy, I think. Let's just have a look quickly. Faction list scroll. Agents. 1 spy in the whole world. Okay, that's good. Or not good, rather. And he's just chilling along here. I wanted him around Arretium because I wanted to see where that Senate army was going to move along up here. The Senate army tend to just dwell within the territory of Rome. But I don't know if I can really risk them coming up here because that's a way too strong army. I still want to see what's going on here in Segesta, however. And I want to see what else is in that army, so I'm gonna move this spy up here. It's a risk. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, let's move the diplomat.
Awaiting your command.
Just wondering where the diplomat can go at this stage. I'm using him as kind of as a spy, so just go around here. I know it might be a bit of a waste of a diplomat, but I feel like it's a risk we need to take. Okay, so here's a spy, and he can probably see a bit more of Cassius Curious now. He can. 3 units of Hastati, some Triarii spearmen, another unit of Hastati which is slightly weaker, some archers, not amazing archers, but better than any form of missiles we have, and then Cassius Curious himself, who has a morale debuff, which is good. Good for us, anyway. Okay. So, plan of action. We have in Ariminum. Oh, we have. I forget how big this army is. We do have a big army in Ariminum. Bigger than the one at Arretium, and plus if.
General.
Right, let's move Porodorix around here.
Move.
And then Patavium has 4 units of warband. Let's move these warband.
Orders.
Yeah, let's move all those warband down here. With this plus this in Ariminum, we should be able to take Arretium, I reckon. So possibly next turn, Arretium will be under siege from us, so that could be good. As for Segesta, we have this force of Vindex here, 2 warband skirmishers himself. I don't want to get this guy involved. He's literally just going to go up to Mediolanum, so chill up there. I did leave him slightly vulnerable there. That's a miscalculation. And then we have this guy with all the warbands in the world. So Vindex can move slightly forward here. So we have this army, 4 units plus. Let's say we brought 4 more warband along. That's 8 units to fight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units of theirs, but they're better units. That's not really something I want to be doing, to be honest. There's no form of mercenaries at all, which is inconvenient as always. So I feel like we need to build more of a force up in Mediolanum, in all honesty. So another warband can be recruited. As for Patavium, more warband, same story, because they haven't got their swordsman yet, which is a shame. As for Ariminum, as we're going to be staying in here for 1 more turn, they can have another unit of warband. They haven't got great morale, but they're just so numerous that hopefully they'll just be able to swarm any Hastati or whatever that they throw at us. That's the plan anyway. Okay, that's all I feel like we can do up in the north of Italy. Next turn, or hopefully within the next couple of turns, Segesta and Arretium she'll fall to us. That is the plan. Okay, that's that done. Spain, we're just recruiting an army which hopefully at one stage later on can take on the whole of Spain. That's pretty much it. It's a shame this guy isn't further over in the north of Italy. We could wait until this guy comes over to take Segesta. That is something we could do, but look how many turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns before he gets there. By which time the Julii could be quite strong, so something we're going to have to consider later on, I suppose. This guy's still hanging around, which is annoying, but okay, we're just going to have to do it. We haven't granted him military access. He should be leaving our territory, but he's not. So that's going to have to do. Okay. As for the British, I can't see that army anymore. Now, they could be on this boat, but they're not. So, once again, I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay. I do want to move this army a little bit down to Alesia to take on those rebels who seem to have disappeared, which is good. Or possibly just to take on the Germanian army, which sort of comes around here. So, have we got a diplomat anywhere? Agents. Diplomat. Okay, we should have done this a lot sooner. We need to find the Germanians. So, moving forward very, very slowly until we find someone.
At once. Yes,
And typically, we haven't found anyone. We'll just moving forward until we find someone. That's all we can do there. I'm going to take a risk and move. Can these guys retrain the cavalry? That's a good question. I think they can, so let's move. Has this got a general? Okay, it hasn't. Okay, so let's move. This guy. Okay, so the general, 2 war bands. No, 1 war band. And the cavalry down to Alesia. These guys aren't too unhappy about that, which is good. Although we'll like to recruit another war band just in case they get attacked or whatever later on. Yeah, once more, it doesn't seem like a lot we can do. This ship is rather battered. It's a shame. It's going to have to do. So there's a rebel force around here. I wonder if that was the same force that was hanging around Alesia. Doesn't matter too much, to be honest. So, that's all we can do for this turn, I believe. But very, very soon, the Julii are going to be attacked by us again. Okay, let's see what happens. Carthage, the Julii are moving around. I'm not sure what they're doing. That was a bit too fast for me to see. Okay, so let's have a look at the situation very, very quickly. So, end of turn report. Most advanced faction is now Egypt. I don't really care about that too much. Construction report and recruitment report. Okay. Right, so first of all, I want to look and see what the Julii have been doing. So, Arretium has a very, very large garrison now. They have been putting troops back in there. They've been recruiting, definitely. So, Segesta has this one bloke. Where has their army gone? I think it moved this way towards this captain. But I can't be sure of that. So, it's now a question of where do I move this by? If the army was here, surely these guys would see. So I'm going to assume that this army moved around here. And they did. That was a good guess. Cassius Curius isn't very happy that we took Ariminum, it seems. I could move this guy past him and get him into Ariminum, which I think I've got to do at this stage. So the Julii have this force, bigger than most of our forces. They have the force in Arretium, which is 2 generals, 3 Hastati, Equites, and another Hastati, and then a force at Segesta. This is very, very vulnerable now. So to deal with Cassius, I'm going to try and drag him back to Segesta by putting Segesta under siege. We don't want him near Patavium and Mediolanum at all. So
Orders.
Vindex can put Segesta under siege right now. We can build 2 rams. That's nice. Okay, Mediolanum can move all this spore band and join Vindex. Hopefully they'll be able to join in time. If you look at Cassius Curious, can he reach us in time? I don't think he can quite reach Vindex in time for next turn, which is good. As for this guy, he can move into Mediolanum. So we have 2 generals and a warband here. And you know what, I'm going to move that one more warband over because I don't think Mediolanum is too vulnerable. Move the tax rate down because I'm not very happy. Move it down a bit more. Money seems to be a little bit of an issue now. A lot of the settlements aren't making as much as they should. And it's probably because I invested more in military than infrastructure, which is possibly a flaw on my part. But if we take Segesta and Arretium, then the financial situation is going to get a lot better. So hopefully that should counteract any sort of miscalculations I've made in terms of finances previously. So that's that done. We can't do anything more this turn in terms of Vindex and his army or this captain here. And that's quite a decent sized army if you look at it. So that's alright. Okay. So I want to isolate Arretium from this guy. And yeah, hopefully putting Segesta under siege should move him over. This guy needs to move into Ariminum because that's where he's going to be safe. And he couldn't quite reach in time. Thankfully, Cassius can't quite reach him in time for next turn. He could, and he can't reach Patavium, can he either? He can't reach Patavium or Mediolanum, so he can't reach anywhere basically. He can only go back to Arretium, which is fine. So Patavium needs to recruit even more. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So does Ariminum. Ariminum just needs to be constantly recruiting. They can recruit some more cavalry now, which is good. Can they retrain the previous cavalry? They can. Okay, let's retrain. Not that guy. Let's retrain the 3 units of cavalry. And this cavalry here. Okay, so that's good. Right. That's that sorted out. Patavium hasn't quite got their swordsmen yet. Mediolanum can recruit more warbands. Okay, so that's fine. That's all we can do there, I would imagine, at this stage. In the north of Italy. So, let's move along. Let's have a look at this diplomat. Here's the guy from Germany. I'm not going to offer them an alliance. They clearly don't want an alliance. So I'll offer them trade rights and map information. For map information, I'm not even going to try and extort money out of them because they don't seem to be particularly reasonable. And they're accepting that at least. So we can see a lot more of their territory, which is good. Their nearest town is over here. So they own quite a few territories. Like ours, they own a similar amount of territories. It seems as if they've got this territory over here, hopefully that means that they're going to be in a fight with the Dacians. The Dacians are around here-ish. So if they get into war with... Let's have a look at who they're at war with. If anyone. Diplomacy. Okay, so they're not at war or allied with anyone. We could try and ally with the Germanians. Again, I know we tried last term and it didn't end well, but let's try again. Why not?
I will talk to them.
I'll offer them an alliance. Let's see what they want for it. No, they really don't want an alliance. Okay, that's a shame. Okay, let's have a look at ours very quickly. Who we're allied with and who we're at war with. We're allies with Spain and at war with the Romans and the British. So yeah, okay, that's fair enough. So hopefully that'll pacify the Germanians a bit. They won't keep spying on us, and that puts the situation a lot better. We'll move Brennus down to Alessia, and then retrain the cavalry if we can. We can, which is good. Nice. Okay, so that seems to be sorted. Leonorix can continue to move over to the north of Italy. More mercenaries available, same as usual, not interested. So yeah, he's going to finally move over in about 4 or 5 turns. At which stage, hopefully we'll have Segesta. He can just form even more backup, you know, and as we march south through Italy, Rome is probably a bit later, we'll sort that out, but yeah, it seems to be decent. Okay, so Numantia needs to recruit more. I like recruiting. Let's have some cav. Oh no, let's get the boat. I need to start recruiting navy. Okay, we have basically no money now, which is a little bit annoying. Is there any way we can move the tax rate up a little bit at any of these settlements? because we are going to be in debt very soon, which admittedly is completely my fault because I have been recruiting way too much in a sort of financial perspective. But as I said, hopefully if we start taking more and more settlements, it will counteract that. That is the plan. They're on a very high tax rate. Massilia is on a normal tax rate. They're not going to be very happy if I raise it. No, I don't particularly want to risk that. Lebanon is on a very high tax rate already. Okay, I think that's all we can do. Finally, let's have a look at Numantia and look at their tax rate. They're on a low tax rate, so they can definitely pay more. Yeah, okay. And then Batavium, they can probably pay a bit more taxes. Look at that, on a very high tax rate, it's still 6%. 6% population growth. Just for a second, if it's on very low, or low, it's also 6%. Oh, no. It's because I clicked too many times. 7.5%. So, raising the tax rate doesn't have too much of an effect. It will obviously on a long-term basis. And then Ariminum can also have a tax rise. Okay, so that seems good. I will join at the end of next turn. Okay, so let's have a look at what's going on, particularly with the Julii. They moved south, which is what I sort of suspected would happen. Okay, so not a lot happened there. There does seem to be a spy who was looking in Batavium, Julii spy, not surprising. Okay, end of turn report. The agent was that, what I just said. Faction announcements, 2 new family members, always good to see. Construction and recruitment. Okay, so Segesta is under siege. We should take that now. We should easily take that now. Segesta has 1 general, and we have a general as well, and then a load of war bands. So let's assault Segesta, and again, we should have an absolutely massive advantage yet. There's no point me actually playing this. We're going to auto-resolve, clear victory, and we now also have Segesta. They don't seem to be too unhappy. But there's a massive army there, so I'm going to exterminate because they're not going to be happy once we move that army out, which we're going to need to. Vindex gets a Roman turncoat. Very good to see. So, yeah, bonus against fighting against Romans. Rhinorix needs to continue moving this direction. And only Barbarian. The mercenaries over in France are not very good at all. I'd say the best mercenaries are in Greece. Over here, this region, they kind of have a lot of slingers. Rhodian slingers are quite good. They have mercenary hoplites, things like that. Peltas, all sorts. It's much better. But anyway, okay, so we now have Segesta. So the Julii are nearly gone, and this is why you need to focus on the Julii first. If you let them expand, they get very, very aggressive, and they'll absolutely dominate you. They'll take Batavium, they'll take Mediolanum, but we've managed to take 2 of their settlements, and now they're down to literally nothing. They haven't even taken Carolus, which they quite often do when I've played before. So okay, so this is going very well. So let's have a look at Segesta. We can have a muster field and land clearance. Right, we'll repair the walls rather. Can't retrain anything here, which is odd, but okay, we barely lost anything anyway. We could have an all-out. We could create 1 big army and take on Captain Spurius, his 4 Hastati, and a town watch, and then that's a big army. You think about it, if you combine these 2 armies, you have 1 massive army. So we need 1 massive army as well. The problem is their troops are just better. So it's sort of working out what to do at this stage, because we haven't got good high quality troops. This episode is going to end very, very soon. Next time we will be doing this massive fight against the people of Arretium. I'm just wondering if... So let's have a look at Spy. Move the Spy into Arretium now, because there's nothing... Okay, so yeah, that's a big force. Equites, you have Triarii, archers, all sorts. Segesta, we don't want to move everything over. Vindex, I would quite like to have around us. So, how far can this force move? That far. So I don't want to risk them getting isolated, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay, Let's move all these warband over to... Do we move them here? If we move them there, the problem is there is an army very, very close. And I don't know if I can risk isolating this army. If we go around this way, it will take longer, but it's probably safer. You know what, I like taking risks. Let's just go for it. This army's here. We could fortify up. Should we construct a fort? I don't normally construct forts, I'll be honest. It's not something I do particularly. But in this instance I think it would be beneficial. I know it's 500, but to be safe, we'll fortify up here. Hopefully just leave this force alone. We can get them over to Aramenium, create one big army, or possibly two, and then strike. In fact, we could move everyone over into this fort. So we'll move these guys over into the fort. So maybe we have one general and a load of warband. Let's have a second general. We need cavalry at this point. We need cavalry because we haven't got a lot. Let's move all these guys over. Okay, not all of them can reach the fort in time. Just get the cavalry over. We'll forget about the skirmishers. If they die, it's not a big deal. So now we have all the slot. We have 4 slots left. Can this warband make it in time? The warband can't make it in time. Okay, let's... I don't want to leave Aramenium too isolated, but if this army is stupid enough to move over here, we'll just take Arretium. So let's move all this warband over. We have actually quite a strong force. We have this force and we have this force here. Batavium, we can move this unit of warband over here. Okay, so this is nearly going to be the end of the episode. We will recruit a bit more Aramenium. More cavalry. I think we've got enough warband at this point. Segesta can recruit. No, we don't need to recruit in Segesta. Mediolanum, does that need to recruit? Not particularly at this stage. I think we need to start worrying about money a little bit more. I've been a little bit sort of thoughtless and overlooking the fact that we probably need money. So yeah, let's just move this guy over before I forget. Oh no, he's already moving over. Fine. Yeah, okay, you know what, I think that's enough. I think that's enough for today. So next time we are going to be striking against Arretium. We're going to finish off the Julii within 3 episodes. It's going to be pretty good, hopefully. We have this force up here. We have a few units up in Aramenium which you could move over, but basically it's this force against this force. We have a lot more units. It's just a matter of are they good enough quality, which I think they are, but we shall see. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.